Well, Heidi ho, hello everybody. It is the Dennis and Andy show this fine Wednesday afternoon at 5 p.m. It's still nice and sunny out. Hard to believe that in about 4.5 months, it'll be darker out.
Yeah.
And at 5:30 in about 5 months, it'll be dark. It'll be nighttime.
But that's fine. That gives us more time to work. Because you know what? For those of you who didn't catch us last week, we did 2 reviews last week. We wound up doing the show Hijack, which was Apple TV, and we did that. And then we also did The Last Voyage of the Demeter. So both of those reviews are up. So if you guys want to check out our movie and show reviews, you can check out the DNA channel or Andy's Art channel. And
I got to tell you, the Demeter got racked over the weekend, I guess. It didn't do well.
No, it did not. And, I guess some people really didn't like it because we kind of enjoyed it, but you can go check it out.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Tomorrow night, we are seeing Strays, that R-rated movie about the dogs that Will Ferrell is the main voice of the main dog, and then there's Jamie Foxx, other people. I've seen the Red Band trailer. I think it looks hysterical. My daughter really wants to go, so we're checking that out tomorrow night. And we will review that Friday morning for you guys and put that review up. Like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. And if you watched The Professionals last night and didn't see the whole thing, you're like, I'll just go watch a replay on Andy's channel. YouTube will not allow it to be shown because of all the copyright crap. So I uploaded it to my Rumble channel. The link is in the description below, I think. If not, I know Randy's always on game with that stuff. Let's see if he can find it. So you can check out The Professionals, the 3 times that they blacked us out and pulled us down for, I guess, that last a minute at a time. That's all there. Good to go. So I thought to myself, should I put this on the Rumble channel? Because I really can't remember what we talked about for those minutes we were blacked out. Is it safe? Well, I guess we'll find out. So there you go. If anything mean was said, it was definitely not by me. It was one of the other bros. Those guys are just rowdy, especially that Aaron guy. When he's not on stream, he's got potty mouth. I'm just saying. Let's say hi to people in the chat. Man, from 11:15 a.m., Christopher John, hello.
Wow.
Hope you're watching now. Marcus, he's actually home, not driving.
What? Marcus, what you doing home?
Yeah.
Hopefully you got a day off.
Get back on the road, slacker. Randy Howell, hello. Angry Gamer, Amish Ninja is in the house. Let me get that off the screen so I can actually see. Beyond Time, I actually pulled this up so I can read it bigger. Oh, there it is. Redames A. Dela Cruz, holla. Hello, I'm so far away from the screen. Some of those names are hard to read.
Genuine Comics.
Yep.
Beyond Time.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. Without further ado, we'll bring in our guest, Chad Townsend, and we'll get to know him a little better. What is up?
Hello. Howdy.
How are you? You know what I meant to ask you in the back room and I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
One, is that a sports hat you're wearing?
I do sport.
What
Houston Astros, baby.
That's what I thought. So you're into baseball. Are you into any other sports or just baseball?
I really love baseball a lot, MLB baseball.
And you know what I found out this year? I found this out on The Professionals last night. See, Dennis, you can learn things watching that show. I went to a baseball game last Tuesday, but it was the minor league game here in Charlotte with the Charlotte Knights. And I looked up and I'm like, there's a clock for the pitcher now? When did that happen?
It started this year.
Yeah, that's what Graham said. And I'm like, well, that probably speeds it up nicely because baseball, man, on TV just bores the hell out of me.
You know, that a lot of people say that, but until you go to games and
No,
experience
no.
it,
I said on TV.
right? But the
If
whole
I go
point
live, I can watch any sport live.
to
That's what he
me,
said.
Yeah.
baseball's not just about the game; it's the whole social experience. Because when
Right.
you go with friends, you have time to sit and talk,
Mhm.
you know, and have a couple beers.
Oh, yeah.
With the pitch clock, it does speed it up. In fact, so much that you really do have to pay a lot of attention. Otherwise, it just plays go by so quickly
So
now.
how long do they get? What's the time they get?
Well, usually between batters, it's like 45 seconds. So when they're switching batters, and then between pitches, it's 15 seconds.
No shit. So the
Yeah.
pitcher, once that batter gets up there and he's ready, he's got 15 to roll, huh?
He's 15
Wow.
between each pitch.
Right.
So there are penalties now for not pitching in that time frame. Yeah. There's
Like
also
what's a penalty that they would give them? Because so I don't know much about baseball. I'm all football, so I know football, obviously yardage and stuff. But what do they do in baseball?
I'm thinking it's like a ball. You get like a ball or something.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like a batter steps out of the box and he's not supposed to. That's a strike. So you got to keep yourself planted in that box on the ground.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's
My
cool.
wife's a season ticket holder at the Astros. So,
Oh, no doubt.
yep, she's diehard.
How many do you make? Did she go to them all then, or try to? Or
We split them with a group because
okay,
it's really hard to go to every single game.
I know. Yeah.
So it's like a group of 4 that we split amongst each other, and everybody trades for different days or giveaways because they do a lot of giveaways at games. And like about a week ago, I don't have it here, but I've got another one. But you can get like Snoopy bobblehead day.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like, and they do a Star Wars night, and you can get players dressed as different characters and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what my wife collects.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's really cool. No, like I said, I like football is the only sport I can watch on TV. Other than that, I love going to basketball, baseball, hockey. I love going to see that stuff live.
Yeah, I like college football more than I like NFL.
Yeah, we watch that. My daughter's a big Clemson fan, so we watch every Clemson game.
We were doing arena football last year. We started, so we were all excited. We were getting season tickets this year, and we couldn't find the schedule. So we went and looked. After winning it, 3 years in a row, they closed it down. So no more. We couldn't get tickets. So a bit of sadness on this end.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a great NHL hockey team, and we had a lot of turnout here, and for some reason they just didn't stay going. So
what was the name of the team?
It was the Arrows, the Houston Arrows, but it was more an AERO, like a plane, airplane kind of thing.
Yeah.
We were season ticket holders down in when we lived in Texas with the Dorados, also arena football, and man, that was some fun stuff. So
yeah, it is.
It's cool. Well, one of the things we always like to do with first-time guests onto the DNA show is kind of get your origin story. Do you remember what your first comic book is that you ever picked up off the rack or your mom bought because you were sick?
Well, the first book I ever remember is I think it's Strange Mysteries with the Bernie Wrightson cover that I later got signed by him when I was about 18. I was working in a comic shop at the time in Austin, and he did a signing there. So yeah, that's like the first book.
That's cool.
I've always been buying comics since I can remember. Like since I was like 3 years old, my mom was buying me Dennis the Menace, and I really loved Dennis the Menace, and then Batman and Superman mainly. But when I turned about 7 years old, I had a parent teacher conference that came up, brought my folks in, and teacher said, well, hey, what can we do to get Chad reading more? And my mom said, well, he likes comic books. And teacher was like, great, buy him as many as he wants. And so one day my folks come home with a stack of comic books like this. Turns out in 1980, I had a comic shop in my town of Round Rock where I was growing up. And so in it was like a stack of X-Men and Spider-Man and just all kinds of really cool stuff. Like, I can't remember if it was Paul Smith or John Romita Jr. was drawing X-Men at that time. I have to go back and look, but I definitely remember a lot of those. So yeah, that I would say is my first exposure.
Paul Smith was I just loved his work.
Yep,
his stuff was just so clean, so nice, just really attractive, which is kind of a weird adjective to use for it, but it was.
No, it's appealing.
Yeah. And I didn't know. I guess he came from like an animation type background. So that's what I heard.
Interesting. I've met and had beers with him maybe once, like years ago, but I can't recall.
Yeah. I met him back early 90s out in San Diego at a Valiant thing.
Right.
He was there. I don't know if he was working for Valiant or he was just there, but I know I heard something like he was doing a motorcycle ride across the country or some crap. Yeah. That was like the type of dude he was.
Yep.
Or is. Yeah, because I mean, you don't see him, like, I don't know what the guy does now,
Yeah, I'm not really sure either. I'd be curious to find out what he's doing. He could be doing storyboards. A lot of comic guys, especially out on the West Coast, are all working in animation.
Yeah, that's true. Well, Blevins does a lot of that, or did. So
Dave Stevens did a lot of storyboards.
Oh yeah. So how'd you go? So you're obviously interested in comics, but your actual real day job is character designer, right?
Yeah, I do characters and prop designs for television animation. I even get hired a lot more now to develop pitches for TV.
Oh, cool.
I've been working with a group of guys that created Phineas and Ferb, the producer and creator.
Oh, nice.
And this main company called Sleeping Giant.
I know that company.
Yeah, they're known for The Expanse and Blade Runner, the current Blade Runner movie. So, yeah, over the past couple years, I've developed about 6 properties for them and helped them.
And had they all, I guess, made it to screen or
come to fruition?
Yeah, come to fruition.
They're all, once you get the green lights, it takes a while to get going. So
sure.
Pete the Cat is on Amazon. I don't know if you've seen it. It's based off a children's book that is currently on. I helped develop that. I developed a pitch for Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. He started a production company, and I designed an entire show based off of an idea he had. Is not sports related. Most people might think, oh yeah, Stephen Curry wants to do nope. It's based off of his pets, which is kind of funny. And anyway, I helped with that, and it got him a production deal with DreamWorks Animation. I've got a project I've worked on with Chris Stapleton, country singer.
Oh, cool.
And Mike Trout and the MLB. And Slash from Guns N' Roses over the last couple years. But so, yeah, I'm just name dropping.
No, man.
The Expanse wasn't yours?
No, but
darn it. That's one of my favorites.
I wish it was mine, but I'm really proud though of what I've done. The head of the studio actually has a bunch of my artwork hanging up in his office, so
no doubt.
Yeah,
nice.
That's pretty neat.
Well, I was going to say, when you develop the pitches, I would assume that involves you, that's the visuals. You're designing the visuals for
I do all the character designs. I do a bunch of posters and character turnarounds.
Yeah.
You know, and I've been working with one producer mainly. So yeah, that's a lot of fun.
So what we're hearing is we should keep an eye out for the Black Phantom. That's what I'm hearing.
You know, I don't. To be truthful, I pitched Black Phantom twice in 2005, and almost sold it to BET twice. And Dennis Cohen was in charge of the animation department at the time. But looking back, I'm really glad I didn't.
Right.
And the only way you're going to do really well with your personal IP is unless it's already really popular, or you're a popular creator. You know, like a Mark Millar or whatever.
Right.
Because if you sell your IP, they'll say, great, I got a deal for you. We'll pay you $100,000 to license your character out for 3 years. And you're like, awesome, I'm going to be rolling in cash. Well, nope. They're going to pay it out every week over a period of like 3 to 4 years. So
it's like a little paycheck.
So it's like a paycheck over 3 to 4 years. Huh?
So you're not really getting any great deal unless, the show gets rolling, and then you could start making a little bit of royalties. But a lot of the studios don't want to pay royalties anymore. In fact, I've just made more money being a gun for hire than I would, selling my property. So I'm glad I have it. I'm glad I have the Black Phantom, and it's not sitting somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess that brings up the next question, is kind of your origin story in terms of how did you get into, the Black Phantom? What brought all this, and how did you make the jump in?
Well, I've had the Black Phantom since I was a teenager, and my origin story, you heard part of it. My teacher, Mrs. Cave, got me really interested in comic books. I mean, and I happened to catch her the year she was retiring, and wrote her a letter into the school just to let her know how grateful I was, how little things she did made such a big impact on my life. But at 14, I designed a logo for a furniture store chain in Round Rock, and I made $950 for that logo, which is a ton of money for a kid at 14.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that really made me realize, hey, there's a possibility I can make a living doing this. And then in my teens, I started working for a comic shop about 18, and I couldn't afford to go to college. The private school I went to went bankrupt my senior year, so I couldn't stay focused, being on a homeschool program or anything. So I just went and got my GED. My mom tried to convince me to go into the military. At the time, the first Gulf War was breaking out.
Oh, wow.
And my dad, having served in Vietnam 3 tours, was like, no, I can't let you do that. I can't let you. So I found a comic shop, and it was a chain of them. The guy owned in Austin called Book Source, and the guy's name was Philip Anderson. And he not only bought and sold used books, but he had bought and sold original art on top of his comic shops. And so he started taking me to conventions around the country, and I'd be the kid that drove the van, basically. He wanted to go to New York Comic-Con or Philadelphia. I was that goon that drove it. But
wow.
He knew a lot of people in comics, and he started introducing me to them, and I started showing off my folio to a lot of different guys, and started picking up assistant work and sleeping on couches like all over the country. So there was an era where I drew so many backgrounds in a lot of Marvel comics, and never got credit for it. But
no way. For like who?
Let's see. Well, on the Tony McDaniel Daredevil run, I inked a lot of the backgrounds on it with the inkers on those But I was assistant to a guy named Keith Wilson, Arthur
Yep, I know who
Nichols.
he is.
I knew Arthur Nichols, and he inked a lot of backgrounds in his books. I could name off probably a bunch more. But yeah, that's how I got into comics. But at the time, I was really trying hard to get my own gigs, and it was not easy because comics were super popular at the time, and you had to really be somebody to get in, or have some really amazing work. And I had failed, I don't know how many times, but Jim Ballant wanted me to be the inker on his stuff on Catwoman at the time because he just liked what I was doing. And Julie Schwartz just said no, like he didn't want to give me a shot. And I felt so beat up so many times. My dad kept showing me this article in the local newspaper in Austin that said artists wanted, and it was for a video game studio. And this is the cutout my dad gave me the last time.
Oh, you still have it? That's
I still have it. In it, it's upside down.
Oh,
it's called the studio is called Iguana Entertainment. You can see it here.
Yeah,
they were a part of Acclaim.
Yeah,
and yeah, so it says they wanted artists, and I went, well, they made NBA Jam, and that's a pretty popular game, but I wasn't sure. I love playing video games, but I wanted to be Todd McFarlane,
right.
that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I finally listened to my dad. I turned in a portfolio, and the week of my 23rd birthday, I got hired at Iguana Studios. And that kicked off my career in video games for a while. The last video game I worked on was in 2013. And the last shipped game I had worked on was called Epic Mickey 2 for the Nintendo Wii and Disney. So, yeah. So that's part of my origin. Got into video games around 2002. I went and worked for a Japanese anime studio in Houston. They did a lot of sub and dub, from overseas. And I knew guys like Vic Mignogna. I actually saw him again this last weekend. I don't know if you remember that guy. I've heard about his controversy.
No,
well, he was getting canceled really big. He did that Star Trek, that fan made Star Trek series.
Star Trek Continues.
Yes.
Yep.
He played Captain Kirk on that.
Oh, is that the one that they shot? Didn't they shoot that in Georgia?
Yes, that's where they have the studio that they recreated.
Oh, so I know visually who you're talking about now. Yeah. But so what happened to him? What did he do?
He got Me Too'd, so to speak.
Oh.
And there's a big lawsuit and everything. But anyway, so yeah, I met guys like him. I spent a period of 3 years on and off living in back and forth in Seoul, Korea, and a little bit at a time in Japan, and tried to get my footing there. And then around 2005, I got laid off from that studio, and this is really important part of my career. My daughter was about to be born. I had no idea where I was going to get any income. I'd just gotten laid off. And 2 weeks later, I get this phone call from this guy, and he says, "Hey, my name is Frank Parr. Somebody put your website down on a Post-it note and stuck it to my monitor, and I've been looking at your website for 3 days. How would you like to design armor for our animated Iron Man movie that's coming out from Marvel Lionsgate Films?"
Wow.
And I was just shocked, that, and of course I did it. Spent 9 months.
Hell yeah.
Spent 9 months doing that. And it paid for my daughter's NICU bill because she was in the hospital for 10 days for bad jaundice and not breathing. And that kicked off me getting into the animation industry for sure, because I got an agent through it, and that helps. And I don't recommend getting agents in Hollywood unless you got like some really super hot deal, you can do all the legwork yourself,
Right,
in my opinion.
right.
But yeah, that broke the doors wide open. From then, I went to like Legion of Superheroes at Warner Brothers, and
Oh,
so on
cool.
and so forth. So yeah, since 2005, I've been solidly picking up work. I'm not saying that it was good times all the way through that, because there are times where I had to do a lot of networking over the years, and
Sure.
fly out. I fly out at least once a year, not so much anymore, but yeah. So you've probably, anybody watching right now has watched a lot of shows that I've worked on. I've worked on several Batman animated movies, like The Long Halloween is one of them.
Oh yeah.
The Batman Two-Face with Adam West. I
Mhm.
worked on that. Hold on just a sec.
No, go ahead. We'll look at this question.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Hold on. I'm going to grab this real quick. Can't wait for Kor-Drath in game. Are there any videos you have done to explain the details for the new game?
Any videos? Nope.
Nope, but it's not a bad idea. I mean, maybe once it's, I mean, that's more your arena, but maybe once it's shipped and people are getting it, we might do something like that.
Well,
I don't know.
talk.
I don't know if it's advantageous or not.
Well, I've been talking with some of the guys behind the scenes. A couple of them were doing a review this Sunday for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And they're also RPGers. And one of them actually tested the module and stuff. We are kicking around the idea of, on the channel, doing a weekly role-playing game session where we would talk about it on there. But you can always get a hold of me if you have specific questions through the links, and I can let you know. But just stay tuned. We will be talking more and more about it.
Weekly role playing on YouTube. Are you going to switch off with who wears the French maid outfit? And who's the postman? And
kind of knew you were going there, Mr. Milkman. So.
Who's the slave Leah this week?
Yep. Wrong role playing.
Oh, you saved that for home. I get it.
I get it.
So, dude, I was going to ask. I mean, you answered it, but I was going to ask how you got into doing the character design and animation stuff, and that is just wild that you just got this call.
Yeah, it was a blessing from I don't know where. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know who did it. I have an idea maybe who did it, but I want to say if I were to guess, I would say Will Mineo, who created like DNA Agents and
I never knew how to pronounce that last name, so thank you.
So that's my guess. I can't really say it's true, but yeah, I'm thinking that's who did it. But
is that what he's up to these days? He's been doing animation forever.
Yeah, he's been around a long time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I remember his stuff from the 80s. I remember that book. So
yeah, I love DNA Agents. I thought that was awesome. Yeah,
that's so cool.
Gosh, I can't. Mark Evanier was the writer of that.
Oh, I know who Mark Evanier. Yeah. I know that name. So even when you first started out, did you ever have to move there and go into the offices, or were you always able to just work it out? Really?
No, I made an effort to get an online presence with my portfolio and make sure I got out to California, the people that I had worked with, and meet them and get contacts from them of people they thought I should meet, and then people started opening doors. I can go. I have now working for WB. I can get a pass and just walk around the studio lot if I wanted, and sneak in.
Oh, that's cool.
That is awesome.
But it takes a lot. I took a lot of networking. Like I said, like over that period of time, it wasn't just like everything's falling in my lap all the time.
No, yeah.
I mean, there were times where I was so broke that I would get a rental car that was like $100 a week and sleep in the car, and bathe in the studio bathrooms, like, out of the sink, that kind of stuff. So, but eventually it got to the point I got a reputation where people wanted to hire me to help help them when they were behind on some shows. So I'm friends with now like the vice president of WB Animation, and so now and then I get the call to help
Now,
out of
is
deadlines.
that, let me see if I can remember. Is that, damn it, Sam Register?
Well, he is in charge of WB Animation.
So funny thing, he only went 1 year, but we were both freshmen at the Joe Kubert School together, and he was in my class. He was in my class. He only went 1 year. I mean, he was so good.
It's amazing how he went from there to animation too.
Yeah, and then when I first saw his name on the animation stuff, I don't remember what his job title was then. This is like 20, 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I first saw his name on it, and I was like, no way.
Yeah.
But yeah, now he's like the total top dog, isn't he?
Yep, he's the top dog. Yeah, there's a lot of comic people that work in animation that still do comics.
Do you know? Oh my God, I just blanked on his last name. I think his first name's Matt. I'll have to think about it. There was a guy. As far as I know, I don't know if he's still doing this, but for the longest time, he was like, and I don't know that, I know stuff like storyboard artist and character designer, so I might get the terminology wrong with what his job title is. Mm-hmm. But for WB, for the, the Bruce Timm stuff, he was, I guess you'd say like the color coordinator for the show, for like the lighting and the backgrounds and stuff. And he would paint some of the backgrounds and stuff and set up like the color palette. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I would have to go into my email and start typing names and seeing what pops up, because I have so many Warner Brothers emails.
Yeah. Well,
if I was on any list with that dude, I don't know who you're talking about.
He was. If I remember his name, I'll shoot it to you in a private chat after the stream. And if I remember it during, I'll just blurt it out, because that's what I do at an awkward time.
I've seen Bruce Timm at the studio a lot, and like especially outside smoking when I visited, and he's the only guy I've not talked with at WB because I'm so intimidated, and I'm afraid I'd fanboy out, and I hear he doesn't like fanboys, so that's always kind of made me like, okay, I'm not going to approach this guy, even though he's probably is really cool. So
yeah, I've never met him. I've only seen him like walking by a table at San Diego and stuff. Yep. I've visited the Warner Brothers studios out there before when I had friends working there.
Yeah,
I'd visit. That was 10 years ago or so.
That's good.
And actually, I just realized the guy's name wasn't Matt. It was Bill. He goes by William. I still have to remember his last name. But the point is, he was at the Kubert School when I was in first year. We lived in the same student housing together. Mm-hmm. And my roommates and I, on the floor that we lived on, would torment him relentlessly. So as far as I know, he still holds a grudge, because I tried emailing him like years ago.
Oh, really?
And I never got a response back. So I'm sure he might hold a grudge. It's been 30 years. I'm just saying, we were kids.
Yeah. One thing that I don't know why I thought of this, but they have this stuff. They have this Bugs Bunny costume from a theme park from years ago. I don't know if it was a Six Flags or whatever, on a mannequin, and people take this mannequin and hide it around corners in different parts of the building at different times. So when you're walking around, this thing literally jumps out at you and your heart jumps. Every time I'm there, like, I get startled by this stupid thing. I don't know why I thought of that. But
have you ever been to DreamWorks animation studio out there in Burbank?
Yes, I've been a couple times.
Did you know? Now, this goes back to 2016, 17. I was in San Diego. We met this guy that, I can't remember his name, but he works there. And he was like, yeah, if you're in LA, Burbank, give me a call, come on by.
Have lunch.
And I'll show you the place, right?
Yeah.
So we did. And he showed us we're walking down this hall, and you get to the end of like, and I remember we're walking down, so it's not a hall that has, you know, just walls on both sides. One wall was windows, you know, looking out, and then the other, it wasn't a wall. It was like, you know, those fake cubicle walls, the small ones. But we got to the end of the hallway or whatever, where you had to turn right. And he goes, "Let me show you this." And he opens this little like secret door, and behind it's like this speakeasy.
Oh, neat.
That employees and stuff like could go into, hang out and drink, and like you could see the rafters and stuff, like the construction stuff, because it was just like this hollowed out area that had cool furniture and stuff. And then he was saying, like, you know, once a month or so they'd even get like a bartender to work back there and stuff. And I was just like, that is so cool.
You're like, yeah, I want to go do that. I've not had the opportunity to work for them at all, even under contract. But the one thing that I was always blown away by is the fact that they have full-time chefs working in their cafeteria, like real deal chefs.
I know. We ate there. Yeah.
And you can get 3 square meals a day there, you know. So
that place was so freaking impressive. I was like, what can I do here? Could I be a janitor maybe? I mean, it was so cool. Well, have you been to Disney's studios in Burbank right near there?
Yep. Disney.
They're awesome too.
Disney's main animation building, which is where feature animation is pretty amazing. They have offices in 3 other buildings though around town, and they're impressive offices and impressive break rooms, but nothing like DreamWorks or the main Disney.
No. Yeah.
No,
wow.
I've been to Cartoon Network, and now they just shut down Cartoon Network officially like a couple weeks ago.
Did they really?
Yeah, the building's closed down. It's just a brand now, just because they're under the Warner Discovery label.
Did they shut down? Didn't they have a branch in Atlanta too, or in Georgia?
You know, I don't really know that. I didn't know there's no animation house that I knew of.
Okay.
But they did have 2 or 3 different locations around town. I can understand why they're shutting all these down, because they're just trying to consolidate it under one animation umbrella and use the brands. Because why pay real estate all over town? You know.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little.
Yeah.
Black Phantom.
The Black Phantom. Thank you.
So, Black Phantom.
Where do I start? All right.
I don't know.
At the beginning.
And I tell you what, is that Google Chrome, or is that what you're using?
It's Chrome, yes.
So at the top right-hand corner, you'll see the 3 dots at the top of the bar. If you click that, you can enlarge the screen so you can fill that up more.
What do I hit? Oh, just the square box like that.
So there's 3 dots at the top of the screen to the right, and you click that, and then you scroll down, and there should be something that says zoom.
Right.
And then you can zoom.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. You want me to zoom in more than that?
Yeah, because you can make it bigger. You might as well. Yeah, there you go. Fill that real estate. Look at that. Yeah. Now everybody can see it beautifully.
Yeah. How about I just play the trailer for everybody first, and then
yeah, let's do that.
All right, let's do that.
Those who have seen your face drop back in fear. I am the mask you wear. It's me they hear. Your spirit and my voice in one combined. The phantom of the opera is there inside my mind.
Dennis, that fat lady singing means it's over.
Oh, is that what that means? Thank you.
The trailer's over. So the Black Phantom is about this Walking Dead man who has
Oh,
the
sweet.
skeleton key around his neck that keeps him alive. It's like his kryptonite, but when he's separated from it, he is no longer a functioning. He's just a corpse, right?
Right.
He's got these worms in his body that helps keep him alive and regenerate him. So if he loses a limb, he could take it and slap it back on, and he'll grow back together. He can also take on the identity of a dead person that he comes in contact with. So he can be like a spy too when he's not in his outfit. But
Oh, cool.
part of the dilemma is he's done it so many times he doesn't remember his own true identity. So this particular story is a story I wrote when I was in high school. I have a dozen other Black Phantom stories that I've plotted out already, but I wanted to start with this first one because I tried to do it in high school and couldn't, and tried it again around 2010. And making comics is hard, people.
Yeah.
Right. So last year I went full on and did it and completed it. So it's about him during World War II on a mission to find a secret base where they're manufacturing V2 rockets. And man, I'm drawing a blank. He fights, Nazi vampires and this guy named Horned Toad along the way. And his goal is to get a transmitter and light the path for the Allied bombers so they see the location. Because like in World War II, they needed markers, something to guide them. So that's what this story is about. And then,
so can he be there? Like, so if he marks it, and hopefully there's no sport. If he marks it and he gets bought and they drop it on him, he won't die, right? Because he's already
right. He's like
nice.
Yeah, he can get blasted and pull himself together again. The second book that's in the campaign is an add-on. It comes with the basic perk or basic book bundle. It's called Kid Squid, and this guy named Dr. Eric Weiss accidentally unleashes the Cthulhu monster on the city, and the only way he could stop it is by ingesting the Cthulhu monster and becoming a living host in a living cell, and he therefore becomes Dr. Cthulhu. And in that process, this kid has a piece of a squid or the Cthulhu that is blasted off and comes alive and attaches himself to his back there. And also in this story is a character named Pandora. She, during all this magic uprising or whatever, this jar, Pandora's jar, presents itself to this child, and she sticks it and keeps it safe inside her stuffed puppy, and he becomes like a weapon as well. So you can see her zapping in the bottom panels her own father. So yeah, I think people are going to be really surprised at Kid Squid. Both books are self-contained stories, so you don't have to obligate yourself to further books. I want you locked in, ready to go, and want to read more adventures with these characters. This is my lineup. You got Horned Toad, or I'm thinking of changing it to Thorn Toad before I go to print, just for trademark reasons.
Sure.
Black Phantom, Dr. Cthulhu, Pandora, and Kid Squid. And it's 2 books and a standee for $25. So you get one of these cool Black Phantom standees.
That's cool.
And it will ship flat with your books, so it's not going to damage them in any way. I also have additional perks, a sketch card. There's a sketch card perk and a head sketch on sketch covers. I already have the Kid Squid sketch covers. I'm going to be getting the Black Phantom one soon. So yeah, that's an add-on. And yeah, that's my pitch, folks. I hope you're excited and want to see more of the Black Phantom.
Dude, I think the one thing when I first looked at it was just the character designs and stuff, and your style is just so cool. It's
Thank you.
I just love stuff like that. I'm a broken record when I have somebody with a unique style like that on, because I just look at it and I'm like, oh, that is so cool. I just don't do stuff like that. or it's not that natural for me. I
Yeah,
guess.
well, I really, it's personally, I want my characters to be more popular than myself. I want
Right.
my characters to sell it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I try to I try to design characters that I can put a lot of emotion into, like you can see
sure.
in his face and his actions. Yeah, I want him to be very expressive. So I take I I take a lot of that what I've learned from animation and have applied it to my design. So,
Sure,
but
sure.
I've got so many Black Phantom designs since I was a teenager, and I finally landed on this one, which I'm really happy with. So,
Well, you always have me at World War II whenever anybody does something really cool in World War II, that time period.
well,
I mean, it just lends itself to it, and so I loved it.
he is going to have a lot of different eras in his history. So I someday I'll tell his origin because I really don't want to reveal like who he is for a good
Oh
while.
yeah.
But he's got a sidekick in the next book. I've already started the next issue, which is a giant gremlin character. It's his name is Gremlin. So it'll be the Black Phantom and Gremlin in the next one.
So what time
And
period? Now I just got to ask: is it still around that World War II time period, or are you time jumping it? Because I
yes,
guess you can do that.
yes, the next story is going to be about revolves around the Spear of Destiny. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's the spear that pierced Christ in the side.
Yeah.
And it was believed that kings, whenever they had possession of it, their armies were always powerful until they became separated from that spear. So this story that I'm going to just blow the whole story and tell it anyway. It's about how Patton at the end of World War II tells Eisenhower he wants to go on and conquer Russia. And Eisenhower says, no, you're just going to be a peacemaker now and help rebuild the country. And he says, to hell with that. And takes the Spear of Destiny, which was in Hitler's possession, and creates a zombie monster army and goes after Russia. And Black Phantom and his crew are on a mission to get possession of that spear again.
Oh, that's cool. Let me grab this super chat.
Yeah.
$4.99. Alex Vera B. I'd like to apologize for the Kor-Drath, the reckoning joke from 2 months ago. Sure, it was funny, but I forgot where I was going with it. That's okay. It's all in good fun. Don't worry about it. If you get your book from me, because I'm sure you backed it and there's white powder, just ignore it.
Right.
It's all fun. Just go, you back the book. Just go buy Dennis and I a beer, and then I'll forgive you. How's that?
When we do our live,
I have a
brewery, we'll bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, she could buy me a beer too, and you can.
That's right. You can buy Chad. Just go buy Chad a beer, and that'll make up for it.
Buy everybody.
Buy everybody a beer.
Just buy me a beer.
So Chad, when ours is done, what we do is we do a live stream from a local brewery. We haven't chosen the one yet. And then last year we wound up they gave us a back room and we went up and we got to, they all bought us beers. So we sat there and drank beers and brought it up, talked about it. It was a great way. And that's what we're going to do again this year. And it looks like a few people bought you beer. So, if you can get a few more, you can get a 12-pack. And that's what we want to see.
Yeah. I could buy
or you can buy a shit ton of Bud Light. Hold you over the winter.
I could for like $1 or 24.
That's what I'm saying. With a couple donations of beer for $10, you could buy like half a truck.
We just saw they had some large case of it with $3.49 or $3.99 after instant rebate. Woo! Oh my God, that's college type stuff right there.
He wants to know if the back room has a large black leather couch asking for a friend. It might. You never know.
Good.
And he's used to crying about stuff. He's a Cowboys fan. Wow.
Well, see, I grew up a Cowboys fan until they became the Crime Boys, and then that was it. Quit watching.
Did you say crime or crying?
Crime Boys.
No,
Oh,
the
Crime.
Crime Boys. Back in the 80s, they became the Dallas Crime Boys.
Yeah. I'm still a
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys fan. None of those guys play for the team anymore, so you know.
Yeah, I grew up I love Roger Staubach,
Oh yeah,
Danny White, Tony Dorsett,
Tony Dorsett.
you know, T. Tall Jones.
Yeah.
Yep, loved all those guys.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Leon Lett.
Yep.
Yep.
If only the Packers had icons like that.
Yeah, if only they had one.
Well, just one would be nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, be quiet, Dennis.
I don't know what else I could say about my campaign.
I think it looks good. Is that your pool in the background?
Yes. That is
No.
my pool.
I was just going to say, it feels like time to go for a swim.
I did it because Ethan's always showing pictures of his feet with a pool in the background, or his comic or whatever. And I thought I'll just do that for fun too, you know. But it's always funny how people want to ask about my swimming pool. But
That's awesome.
I will tell you, it's a nightmare getting a new pool put in.
Oh, you had that put in?
Yes.
Yeah. We have a nice above ground, and just keeping that is just a pain. But
yep. No,
it's nice.
We're still dealing. We got construction guys back there working on all the tiles that there's a flooding issue, and they're trying to re-level it. So.
Oh wow! How long ago did you have it put in?
It started in January, and it's still going.
Yeah, but I mean, from that picture, you can use it, obviously.
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I can use it.
So they're still. Well, I mean, where you live, they can do that stuff in January. That's not happening.
It's all the patio stuff that's really
Yeah.
the tiles on the pavers and yeah.
That's cool. No, man, I really like the look of the book. Everybody should definitely go back. And what's your page count on each book?
There are two 24-page stories with additional material, so it'll be like 32 pages a book. I'm going to include like character sketches and turnarounds, and I'm even because of I've had so many people do fan art already since I launched this campaign. I'm going to throw in some fan art that people.
That's cool.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Currently, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, when do you envision launching the second one?
I would like to try to have as much of my next book finished. I want to go a larger page count.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping March or April for my next campaign. So to start it. So
that's cool.
That would give me enough time to just work on it full time, because now I'm kind of semi-retired, and this is my full-time gig now.
Oh, we have to talk off stream. I want to know how somebody 4 years younger than me semi-retired.
Well,
you won the lottery, damn it.
It means I'll still be doing stuff with WB, but
yeah, I hear you.
I got severe COVID-related pneumonia in 21.
Oh.
And was in the hospital for 28 days. And
oh wow!
My wife and I have had a little bit of a nest egg already, and she'd been telling me to quit Disney because I was working at Disney at the time, and just focus on myself. And after the COVID thing happened, I decided that's what I wanted to do. But
sure.
So I finished out my obligations last year with Disney. I didn't just quit on them.
Oh yeah.
But then WB called me again and said, "Hey, we're behind on this show called Tiny Toons, this new Tiny Toons show." So I went, "All right, sure, I'll work." And then February, my contract was over, and that's when I decided to start getting on YouTube and start meeting everybody in Comicsgate and just let everybody know I'm here. So this first campaign, I don't expect it to be like a blockbuster thing. Mm-hmm. It's doing actually really well for a first timer, and I'm at 12,800 on it, 900, close to there.
Actually, you should scroll back up and then refresh it.
Yeah. See,
there is the DNA bump that happens every once in a while.
Well, let's go
It
ahead
just
and
sounds
do that.
gross when you say it, Dennis.
Yep, it does.
So yeah, I can still work. I'm just gonna work part time, and then
No, that's
hey,
cool,
look
man.
at that. I'm
There
getting
you
close
go.
to 13.
If you can, dude,
Yeah.
if you can do this and, basically work it out like you said, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
So yeah, I'm just gonna work part time and do this, and I'm 50 years old. I don't know how much gas I got left in the tank. You know what I mean? So
I hear you.
it's
You're
time.
making me feel, I'm like, he's 50 and he's saying that. I'm 53. Dennis is pushing 60. It's amazing.
Yeah, but listen, don't rest and think I'll get to it tomorrow, and I'm gonna do this thing that I've always wanted to do tomorrow. It's like, no, man, don't waste that time. Just go ahead and make an effort.
No, I mean, that's why I got into the whole CG crowdfunding thing 3 years ago, is because I was like, back then it was like, man, working for the mainstream for 28, 29 years.
Yep.
And just looking back at, I did the one issue of First Man way back in 97 that came out through
Right.
Image, just a regular size comic. And I thought to myself, if I would have just drawn one a year,
Yep.
I would have had 20 issues under my belt 3 years ago.
Yes. Exactly.
And like you, I was like, I was 50, and I was like, I'm not getting any younger.
Nope.
I should probably try and do this now while I can.
Yep.
So I hear you, man. I know exactly where you're coming from.
I mean,
So,
I'm super grateful for the career I've had. I've
Sure.
worked on just about every major character for all the big studios, and I got great paychecks from it. But at the end of the
Sure.
day, it's not mine. I don't own
Right.
it, and I didn't really. I achieved dreams, but I didn't achieve the dream that I've always wanted, which is to own
Right.
my own IPs and just create my own ideas and live in those worlds.
Right. Yeah. No.
Well, Chad, keep putting out stuff like this, and I think you will, because I think it looks great. And I think all of you that are going to watch this on the replay, the links are going to be down below. Make sure you go check it out. We got 8 days left
Thank
on
you.
it. Look, we just got another one.
Thank
And
you so much.
guys, I think you're going to want this. It looks really cool. And who knows? This will be the first appearance then of these brand new characters for you collectors out there.
Thank you.
Now let's see. We got a question. Hold on. I got to hit one button before I can pull this question up for you.
Mm-hmm.
So the button I hit will show Kor-Drath in a second. Hopefully, I don't know. Oh my God, what is going on with my screen share?
I backed Kor-Drath, so I'm really excited for it.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Okay, hopefully it'll show up soon. It did right when I closed it. But there's a question for you. Are you going to H-Town Con this year?
Definitely. They're giving me a table, so I'm excited.
Very cool. All right, I want to try this again. For some reason, my screen's not sharing. Last night it worked just fine on the professionals, but no, when I really wanted it to. I was going to
say, well, you didn't want it to on the professionals?
No, I did.
Well, while Andy's getting it up there
it is. Don't let it be said. I can get it up. It just might take me a couple times.
Just a couple of purple and blue here, but look
I
at
just
it.
passed 13,000, by the way. So thank you
All
so
right.
much.
All right. We broke it. Woo! Nice
Yeah.
job, guys.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
You can do it. You can get there.
Yeah.
I mean, I second. I think the book looks great. I'll back the next one. I'm an art guy, so if you wanted to do a separate sketchbook tier that show character designs and stuff, I at least would back it because I love that stuff.
Maybe next time I'll do a little art book or something.
I do have 32-page art book.
I do have add-on sketchbooks, like ash can sizes with like tons of props from like 3 different things I worked on, like the Teen Titans Go movie. I've got a collection of all my favorite props I drew in this little book. So sorry I talked over Kor-Drath.
No, you're good. I was going to ask, since you brought that up, I'm assuming if you had a choice between character design or props, you'd go character design all day.
I like character design a lot, but to me, a lot of people don't see it this way because it doesn't seem as glorious. But I get to draw a lot of the vehicles and objects that you see in those shows, and I think of those things as characters themselves.
Sure.
So I don't know. I like them both equally. Most people don't want to do props, and I'll take your prop work all day long if you're going to throw it at me.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
So, yep.
Maybe a little less pressure than doing character design.
It is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pressure.
Well, guys, Kor-Drath, The Reckoning. Oh, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, guys, between Kor-Drath on Indiegogo and Kickstarter, we're $146 away
Just
from breaking the $90,000 barrier and unlocking the Necronite card. So, by George, we need a few backers. Let's get those. Let's break that 90,000 so we could really jump in to that $100,000 stretch goal, which is right around the corner.
That's right. And 7x10. This is not a trading card. This is 7x10, the same proportions of a comic book. Playable character card. This will be the fourth one unlocked, so you'll have 4 playable characters for the Kor-Drath game, or you can just convert the stats for any RPG game you like. And then, of course, we're going to move on. Well, we're already moving on. $100,000 stretch goal is a 4-page story by Bud Root featuring Lilith. So you could back his cover, and there'd be a 4-page story inside. That's when we hit 100, and Dan Lawless would be doing the colors.
Yeah, you got a peek at the pencils right there that are in the works. We got to see it being drawn at the convention the other weekend, and I can't wait for this baby to be finished.
Oh yeah, I added Conan #1 came out with the sketch cover, and Conan lost his head because he loves Kor-Drath so much. So this is now, you can own this original that I added as a tier as well. And I didn't have it come with a book because you can add on and pick any book you want to go with it cover wise. I didn't want to just pigeonhole it like, oh, it comes with this one. Too bad. So check that out. Let's see. Let me get back over here. So, for those that don't know, you can read the first 8 pages here on the Indiegogo page. You can click where it says read pages 1 through 11. That takes you right to the Kor-Drath website. So you can find more goodies there that aren't on the Indiegogo page and read a few more pages of the story. One, not safe for work. Just saying, Dennis had to get his goodies out some way, and he did on 1 page.
So it is not a rated G book, right, Andy?
It is not rated G. It should be.
G for great.
G for goodness.
No, it's great. G for gut wrenching. Look at the gut.
Yeah. Gut spilling.
Gruesome.
Yeah, gut.
Gruesome. So yeah, guys, go check this out. 76 pages, ball-busting barbarian action. I have all the black and white interior art done for my portion of the book. Bud's working on those 4 pages because we are confident we'll hit that 100,000. And I've got production stuff to work on the back end anyhow, between the book and the art book and or the oversized artist edition book and all that stuff. And plus coloring is still being done. Lettering has to get done as well. So there's still a good amount to get done before we can send this to the printer.
Since it was asked, the module has been sent in for layouts and stuff like that. So very excited. There's a lot going in on the back. So for those of you that played old school Dungeons and Dragons, the Kor-Drath module is going to be very retro, just like the old early 1980s D&D modules. It's set up the same hues, tones, little box dialogues and everything.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. Zaid Comics showing up. What's up, Phil? Hello.
Philly Pops.
He is. Great guy. I'm scared to meet him because he would tower over me.
He is very tall in person, but he and his brother are great. I love him.
Yeah, because you went to Tampa, right?
Yep.
You flew there, right? You didn't drive there, did you?
No, I flew right in. It was about an hour and a half flight from where I am.
Nice.
I wonder if he's taller than Frega or Lepresti, since only one of them is the tallest.
I will find out. I'm going to a convention that Lepresti is going to be at here in October.
Oh, which one?
It's called Bedrock City Comic Con.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Nice.
yeah. He's
So,
friends with those guys that run the
Right.
show. Yeah,
Yeah, I've known those guys for years. So
yeah. We met him here. Well, I've seen him at Heroes Con here in Charlotte a number of times, and I this past show, Dan Fraggy and I were looking at some of their EC books with Frazetta covers, and we showed them to Aaron, and Aaron actually made a deal with him about getting one of them. So,
oh, really?
yes, he
Wow.
did. Yep, slabbed and everything. So,
Did he make
a
a
nice
trade or
he can tell you the story when you see him.
Yeah.
When's that con? When is it?
I want to say early October, like the first week of October, somewhere.
That's
around
cool.
there. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm get to meet him for the first time. Nick Patera's gonna be there. I've gotten to know him recently.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff Smith's supposed to be there. Terry Moore's a local guy here.
Oh, cool.
And then let's see, Mark. I'm trying to blank on Mark's last name. He's the guy that drew the very first Aliens books for Dark Horse.
Oh, Mark Nelson.
Mark Nelson. Yeah, he's a
Yep.
local guy too.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had him on the channel. He's a good cat too. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Are you how far is that from where you live?
About 20-30 minutes drive for me.
Oh, dude, you're right there. You can go home at night.
Yeah,
That's cool.
Nice. You got to come to Heroes Con, man.
I want to. I've been to so many cons, but that's the only con I've never gone to, and it's a historic con.
It is.
It is.
20 minutes from where I live.
Oh,
So-
perfect for you. You can sleep,
You know it.
go party, and crash in your own bed.
Damn
Perfect.
right. Yeah, man. Just go to the website and shoot over an email.
Yeah,
So-
if you can make it to a convention and do a Graham Nolan Hawaiian shirt event, I
Oh, yeah.
recommend everybody go. It's so much fun.
Yep. That was
Yeah.
awesome. We did that in Garden State. So
Right.
yeah, I had something the weekend at Tampa with my daughter. That's why I couldn't make it down there. Because we have relatives down there, and I want to work it out to where we would all go. And then during the day, my daughter loves this stuff. So she'd go to the convention one day, and then the other days, her and my wife could go see family while I was at the show. But
Mm-hmm.
my daughter found GalaxyCon, which was the same weekend in Raleigh, and she really wanted to meet Billy D. Williams. So
Oh, nice.
we went there instead. So
Sweet. My wife wants to meet Pam Grier, who's going to be at H-Town Comic Con in October as well.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
She's a big
Nice.
Jackie Brown fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
Well, guys, thank you all for joining us today. And thank you, Chad, for joining us too, of course.
I'm grateful that you had me. Thank you.
Dude, you know it, man.
Anytime. Can't wait for the next book. I can't wait to read these when they come out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, guys. We'll be back Friday morning with a pre-recorded review of Strays, the movie about a dog that Will Forte kicks out of his house because he apparently hates him. And that dog wants to go back with revenge in his eyes with a pack of dogs. It looks hilarious. And then we'll be back next Wednesday at 5 p.m. Figure out who we're going to have on soon, and hopefully let you know on Friday.
Yep, my quick flips I'm starting tomorrow, so I'll start getting those out and some reviews. I did, guys, get out there. If you hadn't seen Heavy Metal #1, I bought a copy, a fantastic copy at this last show, and I decided to do a full review. Let's put it that way. I flipped through the entire book,
Even the
Of that-
10 pages?
all of the pages.
You show big Richard Corbin den dick.
Sure, we'll go with that. I showed all the pages. You guys get to look at it.
Oh.
That is classic art. I had never held one before, even with all the comic book appraising I've done. I've never seen one. I had to buy it, and I had to share it. I've already got some great responses from it. So go check it out, the DNA channel. That #1 was fantastic. Heavy Metal. Gotta love it.
Finally held a Heavy Metal #1. There's only one thing left on his bucket list to put in his grubby hands, and that's a pair of boobs.
Oh,
Guys,
yeah.
let's pray for Dennis
I
that he
thought
can
you
finally
were
grab
going
a
to
pair.
sign Quasar #50.
You just got to bring it over, pal. I'll sign it for you. You're just not the one. You bitch about it all the time. You got it at your house. You're at my
I got
house.
4 of them at my house.
Oh, 4. Can't
Bring
even
it
get
over and
one
I'll sign
signed.
it for you. Man, bitches all the time. All you got to do is bring it over.
Man.
I'll tell you, Chad, it's like working with a woman here.
Well,
Yeah,
That's it.
Don't. Yeah,
Nothing to say.
You better end it here because.
Dennis, I don't want to hear you talk anymore. Be quiet.